Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And imagine you went for a job interview. You've had the interview, you get on very well, they like you like them, your qualifications are great, your experience is perfect, you bring a skill set to the job that sits perfectly in line with what they want. Everything's going well, you're thinking, I'm going to get this job. Brilliant. Then they ask that last question. That question is, do you agree with our politics? And you say, I don't know, what are your politics? And they say, well, we don't like, and it could be, women, the disabled, Jewish people, black people, it doesn't matter. They say they don't like something. Well, of course, your immediate thing is that these people are bigoted and hate-filled. Then you say, hang on, I'm one of those protected groups. If I don't get this job, then it's obviously discrimination, and you sue them. Now, of course, in this day and age, no employer is stupid enough to do that. Well, no employer apart from one. Can you guess who it is? Yeah. Remember, these people are not your friends. It's the police. Let's look at this report. So, British Transport Police faced backlash for suggesting people who question gender ideology should not work for them. Officer tweeted a picture of members of the force holding a pride flag in Brighton today. Doing that, rather than, perhaps, I don't know, their damn job. He encouraged applicants to become part of a diverse and inclusive force. Inclusive, that is, except for people who are, let's say, in any way religious and who do not hold with gender diaspora. BTP's official account added, if you're offended by this, please don't apply. And it's facing criticism for discriminating against those with gender critical beliefs. For example, Muslims, Jews, Christians. In fact, just about anyone with a religion. Or anyone who happens to have an opposing view for whatever moral, ethical, social reason. What they're saying is their politics trump everything else. Is this right? Probably not. Is it legal? Definitely not. The British Transport Police, the BTP, is facing a backlash after suggesting people who question gender ideology should not work for the force. Now, remember that actually questioning gender ideology is not only legal, but Alison Bailey recently went to court and won her case for exactly that. So now the British Transport Police could actually be held in contempt of court for ruling against a court decision. It comes after an officer tweeted a picture of the members of the force holding a pride flag with the BTP logo emblazoned across it in Brighton today. Why are the police involving themselves in politics? Well, probably because they've got enough time on their hands, because they're not actually solving any crimes. The tweet accompanied the image said, great to see BTP represented at Brighton today. Lots of opportunities to join us. We want you to apply to be part of a modern, diverse and inclusive police force. Not that inclusive, though. They don't like people who do their job. They don't like workers. They don't like people who are good at, solving crimes. Oh, no, they don't want those. Makes the rest of them look awful. But the force's official Twitter account is facing criticism over discrimination against people holding gender-critical beliefs. The BTP's tweet read, we love to see it. Inclusion isn't political. Oh, but it so is. It absolutely is. Inclusion is one of the most basic political acts there is. Do you remember how women didn't have the vote? They weren't included in voting in this country. It was only the politicisation of that that gave women the vote. So these people are utterly full of horseshit. Said, we'll always celebrate being diverse as the communities we protect. But you don't protect them. You don't do your job. We did a video yesterday. 84% of communities haven't had a single crime solved in 3 years. And that's not to mention all the policemen that are handing children to people who will do them harm. Policemen who are committing crimes. Policemen who are corrupt. Policemen who are committing Policemen who are committing M, they're hardly protecting communities, and they certainly aren't when they're dicking around waving flags at a festival instead of being on the beat and doing their damn jobs. Anyway, it said, if you're offended by this, please don't apply to work for us. Thanks. Well, actually, I'm very now tempted to apply to work for them and to express my gender-critical belief. And then when I don't get the job, sue them because they've tweeted their position in advance. And so they're actually saying in advance that they're bigoted and that they are discriminatory against people's beliefs. And don't forget, this is a protected legal belief. It's now had court cases. It's fantastic. They call themselves the police and they're actually committing contempt of court. What is wrong with these people? I'll tell you what's wrong with these people. They're so wrapped up in the wokery and the push for the trans ideology that they don't want to be seen as ists and phobes, that they forget that A, they've got an actual job to do, and B, that there's laws of this land that actually say they can't do the things they're doing. But they're so blind to it. They all need to be fired. Anyone who's running that Twitter account needs to be fired. Any policeman at that festival needs to be fired. Any policeman who's saying these sort of things needs to be fired because they're obviously not doing their job and they're actually criminals. They are now, by definition, criminals. Social media users have pointed out how the tweet implies the force discriminates against people on the grounds of a protected belief. One said, I have some bad news for whoever is running your Twitter account. If anyone with an openly acknowledged gender-critical belief applies and fails in their application to work for you, this tweet would be admissible of reasonable suspicion of discrimination. A second added, well, that's pretty blatant. Don't apply to work for us because we don't want diverse opinions. We don't want people who question orthodoxies. We don't want people who can think for themselves. Only people who agree with this controversial socio-political ideology need apply. Now, change wokeism, change gender acceptance, change transgenderism, and put in there fascism, Nazism, and that's what you've got. You've got the British Transport Police saying only fascists and Nazis can work for us because we don't want you to work for us if you don't agree with our political beliefs. That is completely wrong. A third said, the first part of this statement is fine. You are perfectly entitled to celebrate diversity in your force and in the community. The second part implies that you will discriminate against people on the grounds of a protected belief. A BTP spokesman told the Mail Online, we are proud of our diversity and inclusion at the BTP and we're passionate about representing the diverse communities we serve. That's fine. We condemn discrimination in all forms, and yet are being discriminatory. The purpose of our tweet was to support members of our workforce representing the force of a Pride event. That may have been the purpose of it. The upshot is that you are discriminating against people who hold contrary opinions. Legal contrary opinions. Opinions that, should you discriminate against, you will be liable for. The tweet was in no way intended to imply that BTP would discriminate against people who hold gender-critical beliefs. But that's exactly what it says. You have said in your tweet, if you do not agree with our politics, don't work for us. You won't be welcome here. Stay away with your varying thoughts on this matter. What is wrong with these people? The backlash comes after an army veteran was arrested by police for causing anxiety. Causing anxiety. At what point is that ever a bloody crime? After retweeting a picture of a, can't say that word, on YouTube, let's say peace windmill, made out of pride flags on social media. The police are completely, they've lost it. They have absolutely lost it. And why are they doing this instead of their actual job? Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to come up and round off. They're caught back to rights. They've said it, they've posted it, it's out there for the world to see, and now they're denying it and trying to walk it back. Well, I absolutely hope to high heavens that somebody who is gender critical applies to join and is turned down and sues and uses that tweet as the evidence. And I hope there's several of them. 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Who knows how many. And they all sue, and then the police are forced to pay out vast amounts of money to these individuals. And hopefully the person who tweeted that loses their job, and every policeman who's tried to defend it should lose theirs. This is not the police we deserve, and I keep saying it all along, the police are not your friends. Despite all the awfulness that they do, now they're getting so political that they don't even want you joining the police unless you are as bigoted and hate-filled as they are. This level of intolerance is astounding. Anyway, I shall finish there. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell for notification of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, keep your goddamn opinions to yourself, and goodbye.